Hey, it's Charlize. So, in this video today, I'm talking about something a little more serious. So, my question today is when should we as parents talk to our children about sex? Or when should we have the talk with our children? This has been on my mind because I just read an article about an 11-year-old girl in the UK who's just given birth. And then, a few weeks back, there was a little bit of an uproar because there was a first grade teacher, or a teacher who was teaching about masturbation to first graders. So, when should we as parents teach or talk to our children about sex? So, for me personally, I had to open that door or begin that conversation when my son was 8. Yes, 8. Is 8 the age that I was shooting for? No. It wasn't planned. We just kind of ended up in a situation where I had to kind of open the door to that conversation. So, one day I pick him up from school and he's telling me about his day, yada, 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 just talking. And then he starts to tell me how his friend or how this girl wants to basically perform oral sex on his friend, and that the girl's friend wants to do him, like my son, my 8-year-old baby. So, of course, me just driving along, not expecting to hear that at all, kind of just frozen, not knowing what to say. All I could come up with at that moment was, ew, that's nasty. And so I had been trained, like with my profession, I knew that I was not, it had been recommended that you talk to your children about sex, probably in about the fourth grade. And see, my baby was in the third grade, and I'm like, okay, so I still have time. He's 8, so I thought, I would be able to talk about it myself. But in the training that I had, we were told that basically, fourth grade is when kids begin to start teaching each other about sex and things. So you want to get ahead of the situation, because, like I said, I had the training, I had been trained, and also I knew that something was wrong, probably wrong in that girl's household. That a girl that age shouldn't know anything about that. So I was able to report that and get the school involved. But I'm just saying, my son was really sheltered. I knew he didn't have access to programming on TV, inappropriate programming on TV, or I know he was sheltered. And so that just showed me that you don't have control over what your kids are exposed to. So you just have to try to get ahead of it. Like, this showed me, because the way my son told me about it, he didn't say it. His wording was, she wanted to suck his. It starts with a sporting goods store. So if you're familiar with Dick's Sporting Goods. So he said it that way instead of just coming out and saying exactly what she said. So he was smart enough to put it together that it was something that was inappropriate. It was something that I guess shouldn't be said. And so it showed me that this 8-year-old, somehow, somewhere along the way, I mean, he didn't ride the bus or anything, he had picked up the slang term for a penis, that he was exposed to children who weren't exactly shielded. So you can't shield them from everything. You just need to try to get ahead of the situation. So what are your thoughts? Like, has anything like that happened to you, or at what age did you or do you feel it's appropriate to begin to speak with your children about sex? Let me know in the comments below.